So I want to jump on here today and talk about the journey of unlocking your shadow. For those that are following me, you see this a lot on my post right now because this has become such a big part of where I'm leading my clients. And I thought it was important to share my story with you this evening. You see, my shadow started at a very early age. It was loud. It was obnoxious. And a lot of times it beat me down until I felt worthless and alone. And you can imagine the impact that this has on a teenager, on a young man, on a person that particularly enjoys being by himself anyways. So I spent a lot of time with this voice that was inside my head, that is inside my head. In fact, it doesn't stop today. There was many a times where this voice, this shadow side of me, raked me over the coals and beat me down to the point where I felt like I was completely worthless, that I was utterly alone, and I was the only one that felt like this. There was many times where it asked me, why do I even bother? Why do I pick myself back up and put myself through the ringer and repeat this pain again and again and again, feeling like I never got any recognition, feeling that I was never appreciated for who I was, for what I did, and what I brought to the table, not only for my family, for my job, for everybody around me, for my community. And most people probably would have never recognized it with me. You may have recognized when I was mad, when the energy, the anger really got a little bit better than me than I liked it to be, where I had a particularly challenging day or something, and you saw that side of me. That was usually about the only emotion that you ever saw. The rest of the time, it was that stoic mask where you saw some laughter, you saw some fun, you saw bits and bursts of me that let you get a glimpse of who was still there on the inside. But this shadow often tempted me to just end it. Now, I wouldn't say that I was suicidal. I never planned it out. I never thought of ways to go do it. I just questioned why I existed. Why, as a man, as the proverbial nice guy that did everything right, that gave everything to everybody else, why I felt utterly worthless. And I could never come up with an answer for that. Through a lot of years of working on myself, figuring out my journey, figuring out why I was really here and why I needed to learn this lesson, and with some great teachers along the way, I finally got the courage to sit there with that darkness inside of me and uncover the truth that he was really speaking from. This is not a journey for the weak-hearted. This is not a journey for those people that are scared of that side of them. And it's not a journey that you need to do alone. But once I sat with this piece, in the darkness on a guided visualization with a mentor, I unlocked a lot of the key points that my shadow needed me to address and to hear. And it uncovered a lot of things that were very powerful for me. It let me know that I was not alone. That even when the rest of the world turned my back on me, I still had me. And that was more than enough to take on the day. I learned a huge soul learning for this journey this time around. That while I always played second fiddle, it was because I generally don't like being in the spotlight, even though I craved it so much for the freaking recognition to let people know that I existed and that I was important. I am much happier when you give me a task and you let me go do my job, whatever that may be, at work, for my family, as I'm building this career, as I'm serving my clients. I can take them into places now that they would have never gone before, that I wish somebody could have taken me, and I wish I would have known more about this before so that I could have done this at a much younger age. And now that I have sat with this part, I usually check in with it each day just to see where it's at. What do you need today? How do we need to attack today? How can we serve with this knowledge that I now bring to help people change their lives? Because no matter how much society tells us that this part of us we shouldn't talk to, that it's bad in the darkness and all the other BS that comes with it, you need to have the intestinal fortitude to go into yourself, to sit with yourself in that darkness, to look you in the eyes and be courageous enough to hear the answer, because you've shoved that part down for so long that it doesn't want to hear what you have to say. And you don't want to hear what it has to say because you're scared to death of what it's going to tell you and what it's going to point out for you to take a look at. And it's time to change that. It's time to look at this part of us, to understand this side of us, and know that, yeah, the vast majority of people aren't going to do this. But for the brave few that do, it's going to change your freaking world. It's going to unlock power within you that you never realized you had. It's going to let you see your truth and let you stare yourself in the mirror every night before you go to bed. And yeah, that voice might still scream at you, but you're kind of giggle at it a little bit sometimes and be like, all right, I'll sit with you tomorrow. Tonight, let's just put a bottle cap on this and just take care of it in the morning when I have more energy. But for right now, this is the best I can do. And if as a person you could look yourself in the mirror every night before you went to bed, knowing that you did the best you could that day, how different would your life be? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Are you ready to take that step and change your world? I did, and it was one of the greatest journeys that I've ever been on. And it's not done, but taking that time to sit there and really address that part of me was huge for me. And I'm inviting people to come do that. Come check it out. It will change your life. Thank you.